murder. And you're familiar with more egregious ones like that. But they do a subtle effort to influence the media, to influence policymakers, to influence other heads of state into adopting their lies. And quite frankly, that's all it is. It is a pack of lies. The MOIS conducts what we call in the intelligence business false flag. In other words, they pose as someone other than their true affiliation. They have posed as members of the Green Movement, most recently. They have posed as members of the MEK. And they do that so that they can stir up problems, they can stir up difficulties for host nations around the world, create bad publicity for the MEK, and blame it on the MEK. These are desperate acts from a desperate organization that only has one focus in mind, and that is to protect the legitimacy of the regime. Well, we all know the regime is not legitimate. It is not from the people. We know, as Mr. Kennedy has pointed out, and Governor Rendell, and Director Free, and you'll hear from Colonel Martin as well, that we know specifically the Iranians are responsible for the deaths of Americans in Afghanistan and Iraq. That attribution cannot be leveled against the MEK. The MOIS is heavily involved in activities in the two theaters of war. They are actively involved in hunting down and discrediting, and worse, against members of the MEK, people in Camp Ashraf as well. It is a travesty of justice that it has been allowed to continue for as long as it has. Appeasement does not work with terrorist groups. The official policy of the United States government is that we will not negotiate with terrorists. Yet there is that lingering hope that maybe by continuing to keep the MEK on the FTO, that it might convince the leadership in Tehran to adopt a more peaceful approach, to engage in more meaningful negotiations with the United States. That has not worked. That will never work. Now, the MOIS is a fairly sophisticated, well-trained organization, and they have a lot of experience putting down their own people. They are ruthless. Many of you, and particularly family members, are probably witness to that. They've got a great deal of expertise, but they can't hide the truth. The truth will always come out. The truth that the MEK promotes a peaceful, nonviolent, and democratic Iran. That the MEK is committed to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, as well as international conventions and covenants. And the MEK promotes a domestic and foreign policy based on peaceful coexistence. In all of that, I don't see the trace of a terrorist group. I've looked at the declassified intelligence that was used throughout the past several years to maintain the MEK on the FTO. Now, it was declassified, some parts were taken out. Everything I saw in those reports, based on my nearly 30 years of experience, none of that indicated to me, even as Director Free has pointed out, none of that indicated, in even a very slight degree, that there was any credibility to the terrorist linkage to MEK. None. So why are we still doing it? Why are we still keeping it on the list? It's appeasement. It's an attempt to negotiate. Based on my experience, and I'm sure the other speakers will agree, you don't negotiate with terrorists. Appeasement never works. And what Tehran sees in the United States is kindness, and they interpret that as weakness. It is time to be strong. It is time to stand up and do the right thing. Delist the MEK. Thank you.